Greetings from Sag Harbor. My show, Art on My Own, represents a collection of articles and stories I wrote about myself, about friends I meet, about events happening around me. In this particular one, I will tell you a story of a friend who I met recently, and this is her story. Revenge. Brazilian. My husband's new girlfriend is a Brazilian poopsie, 35 years younger than he is. She was a go-go dancer in a hot South Miami adult beach club where my husband met her. She came from Brazil and wanted to be an actress, but it's not easy to get into the acting job, so she used her good looks and spectacular body to do something to support herself. True love! Finally, my husband said. She really understands my needs. She understands my soul. She doesn't scream at me or demand things. I'm ready to give her anything she wants. And from you, I want a divorce. That bomb was dropped on me over a lovely dinner on a cold January day of 2019. I knew that he was screwing around, and it was not the first time. I was ready to forgive him. Our life was comfortable together. I loved him. He was a good father before the kids moved out. The lack of sex didn't really bother me. I'm 61 and it hurts anyway. But I guess it was lack of sex that did it for him. I felt sorry for him though. I mean, why should a young Brazilian bombshell go for him except to get something out of him for herself? What could they possibly have in common? I just hope and pray that she will not get pregnant by him, leaving our kids inherit less of the family pie. I must say, my husband was very generous when we negotiated the divorce settlement, since he was so eager to have it over as soon as possible. I guess he felt guilty and insecure that beauty would really go for him. I exploited his gift to maximum, managing to top my settlement with extra cash for plastic surgery. I needed to start all over, and the looks for a woman of any age is really important. I was working in Miami. My business had a lot to do with aesthetics. I had an upscale clothing shop in Miami, catering to a very sophisticated crowd. I used to travel to Italy for my special clients. But things changed in the clothing business. The minute the Chinese saw the original design, they copied it and flooded the market. The people start seriously looking into their wallets. Even the Russians, who took Miami by storm in the 90s and were my biggest spenders, began limiting the expenses on luxury stuff. My sales dropped drastically. It was no point to remain in Miami any longer for me. I fled Miami with the settlement from my husband and returned to New York. We still had our spectacular apartment on Central Park, overlooking Central Park South, overlooking Central Park. I got it as a part of my settlement. We also had a house in the Hamptons, mine too, and you'll hear from me from there. Stay tuned. I was born and raised in the city. I love New York. In fact, we moved to Miami in the 80s only because of my husband's real estate business. He's not doing so well now. His niche is commercial real estate, and this is the niche which was hit the most during the pandemic. The little Brazilian poopsie is not that clever to zero on a man in the declining industry and stick with him. She deserves it, though. She shouldn't have gone so far as to demand that my husband divorces me. I do still love him, and kids care for him a lot. Since I got an excellent divorce settlement, there was no need for me to work in Manhattan. It was time to do something spiritual for myself. So my first project was plastic surgery. Since money was not an object, I selected the best of the best surgeon, Mr. King of New York Plastic Surgery. And he was fabulous. I look 15 years younger, at least. My second project was to get a dog, a big one, a white. And Labrador was always my dream. a white Labrador. I got the most beautiful one and named him Salvatore. I just love this name. I always wanted to have a big dog, but my husband didn't like the idea. I needed an intellectual project next. My friends always told me that I should write, so I enrolled in a writing class to go with my new face. Salvatore was my audience and companion. Little that I knew, those classes and the dog would bring me back to the clothing industry and new love. In the class I met another aspiring writer. She loved to shop for bargains, so she reintroduced me to an area of New York where one could find fabulous samples for a reasonable price. Must tell you, that person was me. Every Tuesday during the 2 months of our classes, I and my classmate dedicated 2 hours to exploratory shopping. After the second week of the class, we stumbled on a furry coat. It felt like my new skin. It made me feel so energetic, attractive, and yes, yummy. Besides, I'm a good negotiator, so I negotiated a good price for it. I wore that coat every day this fall, and one day, around Thanksgiving holidays, a young-looking guy approached me to ask me why my dog was called Salvatore. That was his name too. We struck in conversation. You won't believe this, but it turned out that he was Brazilian, 15 years my junior in clothing business, and single. I will not bother you with more details, but 2 weeks later, he moved to my apartment on Central Park. We converted his studio into a workshop to manufacture masks for dogs. We hired unemployed local people, and the business took off so fast, but we now need more space and people to meet the demand. We were featured on Good Morning America, and now 2 investors from Shark Tank are competing to become our partners. Well, happy holidays, everybody. Stay safe. Keep the hope up. P.S. Forget to tell you, sex is great too. Thank you. And happy holidays to everybody. Stay safe.